Chapter 498. Wolf Howl. Translator. Chibi General Editor. Chibi General. He Lu Lan looked at Mo Shi Kuang with a gloomy face. He had a bad premonition when Mo Shi Kuang stepped on the stage. But when Mo Shi Kuang smashed Viper Prince into minced meat with one move, He Lu Lan's heart turned heavy. Mo Shi Kuang was a rank 4-peak stage expert and cultivated chi path. Humans were the spirit of all living beings and could awaken their aperture through hope gumpers. Since variant men had the man word on them, they naturally had higher spirituality than beasts. But this spirituality was much less than humans. Thus, only few variant men could achieve such accomplishments in cultivating. The absolute majority of the variant men would never awaken their aperture in their whole life. Only a few fortunate ones could. Only the fortunate among these fortunate ones could achieve success in cultivation. This Mo Shi Kuang was one such special case. No wonder Lu Wenwu made friends with Mo Shi Kuang. If it were me, I will also be willing to make friends with such a rank 4-peak stage expert. Realization dawned upon many people. Hey, the black-skinned fatty over there, is it you who wants to oppose my big brother? Come, send your experts, so let me slap your lackeys flat. Mo Shi Kuang patted his chest and shouted loudly. A heroic aura showed in his boorish manner. Black-skinned fatty! He Lu Lan's eyelids twitched and was extremely angry. Although I am fat, am I as black as you? This black boar is really hateful. Hey Shu Yi, He Lu Lan lightly called, his calm voice holding within a burning rage. Here, a thin man immediately responded. Go teach this guy a lesson. Yes, Lord Tribe Leader. He Shu Yi agreed expressionlessly and unhurriedly walked. His gaze was as indifferent as ice. As he walked, a black light blossomed over his whole light. The black light condensed and formed an armor that firmly covered him. Next, a dim green halo flew over his head. 56 flying bone shields flew out and hovered beside him, completely shielding him. Similarly, 9 grayish-blue ghost faces whimpered and hovered around him. By the time he stepped on the stage, he was completely armed and protected. The crowd was in a clamor. He Lu Lan's words were very imposing, but he actually sent a defensive Gu master to bring out Mo Shi Kuang's trump cards. Ah ha 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 ha. Mo Shi Kuang was instead very happy. You are a guy asking for a beating. Come, eat my punch. The moment he finished speaking, his right hand clenched into a fist and fiercely punched at He Shu Yi. Instantly, his fist strength condensed into a thick fist key, which fiercely slammed at He Shu Yi, who was dozens of steps away. If it was someone else, just this punch would leave them handicapped if not dead. But He Shu Yi forcibly took on this punch. His upper body shook a bit, but his lower body did not move in the slightest. Good! Mo Shi Kuang was very happy at this. He was different from ordinary Inkman and was extremely addicted to fighting. He became thrilled at this moment and shouted, Again! He slowly took off to the air, his snow-white hair swaying loosely with the air. After pulling open a distance from He Shu Yi, he started to punch rapidly. The punch shadows rained down like a torrential rain, the translucent fist chi shooting towards He Shu Yi. Ora! The fist chi exploded on He Shu Yi's armor, producing a sound like that of thunder crackling. But He Shu Yi was like a giant reef that would stand tall no matter how many sea waves struck it. The 56 flying bone shields dispelled most of the force on him. Some bits and pieces of fist chi struck at his black iron-like armor, but it was of no use. The scattered chi flow was absorbed completely by the 9 ghost faces. When Mo Shi Kuang's crazed attacks stopped, the halo above He Shu Yi let out a dim green light and shone down upon the flying bone shield, completely repairing the cracks in the shields. Let me return this to you. He Shu Yi sneered. The 9 ghost faces opened their mouths together and spurted out dozens of fist chi. Shockingly, Mo Shi Kuang's attack was returned back to him in full. Mo Shi Kuang was dazed at the dozens of fist chi. The fist chi exploded on him one after another, and he crashed down to the ground. Ha ha ha, rank 4 peak stage is nothing outstanding. Immediately someone shouted outside the stage. Young master, A person beside Liu Wenwu nervously shouted, He Shu Yi is one of the 3 commanders of the Black Banner troops, a rank 4 upper stage Gu master specialized in defense. Should we call Mo Shiquang back? Don't worry. Liu Wenwu was not worried, and instead had a joyful smile as he looked at He Lulan, then at He Shu Yi at the stage. My third brother is extremely addicted to fighting. The stronger the opponent is, the more excited he becomes. Watch the show unfold now. Ha ha ha, refreshing. So refreshing. Mo Shiquang suddenly let out a crazed laughter and jumped up from the ground. His eyes turned as red as fire, and he looked at He Shu Yi with a burning gaze. You are somewhat interesting, worthy of me using half my strength, Mo Shiquang said earnestly. He Shu Yi was naturally not happy. Boastful guy, give me all you got. Ha! Mo Shiquang's body shook. An intense inhuman aura like that of lions or bears erupted from his body, oppressing everyone's hearts. Whoosh! He rushed to the sky with overflowing might like that of a demon god, and lifted his right leg. Here it comes! He excitedly shouted and kicked his right leg towards He Shu Yi. Whoosh! The sound of the wind suddenly whirled and boundless air condensed into an enormous foot. This foot was nearly transparent and was as big as a small hill. It crashed down rapidly with an incomparably violent momentum. Such an attack! For a moment, not only He Shu Yi, but He Lulan and others all stared with their eyes wide open. Defend, use all your strength. The several rank 3 Gu masters who were in charge of defending the site shouted one after another. The enormous foot stamped down. He Shu Yi gritted his teeth and immediately sent his 56 flying bone shields to take it on. But the flying bone shields could not last for even a second and were smashed by the foot. Next, the enormous foot smashed down like a mountain. The green halo was instantly broken. The 9 ghost faces did their best to absorb the force, but could only weaken 1/10 of it before dispersing. The chaotic airflow could not even scatter before it was suppressed by the enormous foot. He Shu Yi felt an irresistible force heavily pressing down in his spine. He wanted to resist, but was powerless, and within a few breaths of time, was pressed down to the ground. The black iron armor, which had made him famous, was crushed to pieces by the huge force. Crack! The sounds of his bones breaking continuously entered his ears, and large amounts of blood flowed out of his 7 facial orifices. The huge force was still spreading toward the surroundings. Several defensive Gu masters had to sacrifice their lives to maintain the light barrier and not let it collapse. After the dust dispersed, He Shu Yi was lying on the ground like a dead dog, motionless and at his last breath. He Lulan's expression paled as he stood up immediately. He Shu Yi was part of his direct family line and was one of the 3 commanders of the Black Banner troops. Without him, Black Banner troops' battle strength would fall by at least 20%. At the same time, He Shu Yi was He tribe's supreme elder's grandnephew's son, so this was a matter of utmost concern. He Lulan had never expected Mo Shiquang to be so strong. His strike could almost jump realms and challenge rank 5 Gu masters. He Shu Yi could not be lost. He Lulan immediately sent orders. Bring back He Shu Yi. Immediately, 2 rank 3 Gu masters rushed forward. The defensive Gu masters hesitated, but not wanting to offend He Lulan, they did not block the way, instead loosening up the barrier. Lord, this He Lulan is extremely shameless. Actually is trying to break the rules. Let me go too, a Lu tribe elder shouted in indignation. Liu Wenwu, however, just chuckled. Nothing to worry. Let them experience the power of my sworn brother. A group of scoundrels, Mo Shiquang shouted in fury before waving forward with his right fist. He seemed to be dragging 1,000 zhong of weight as he moved his hand, giving a feeling of slow exertion of power. Tall, an enormous arm made of qi 50 feet in length and 10 feet wide rapidly formed under everyone's dumbstruck gaze. Whoosh! The qi arm produced a sound like that of a roaring dragon or tiger, and also seemed like a hurricane that would blow away everything. The enormous qi arm fiercely swept across in a wild and unrestrained manner. If it came across mountains, it would break them. And if it came across seas, it would split them. The two rank 3 Goo Masters that came to rescue He Shu Yi were like flies as they were swept flying by the enormous Chi arm. The Chi arm then swept outside the stage, causing sounds of shocks and screams to resound. Many spectating Goo Masters, who were not able to dodge in time, were smashed into minced meat by the Chi arm. He Lan and his group hurriedly retreated to avoid the brunt of the attack. Courting death! Kill him! He actually attacked us. Let's attack him together. He Lan and his group, who avoided the brunt of the attack, made their moves one after another and immediately shattered the Chi arm. Ha ha ha, more! Mo Kwang did not show a hint of fear in facing so many Goo Masters, and instead became even more happy, his battle intent burning high. He advanced instead of retreating like a tiger that had came out of the mountain, his beard fluttering as he charged towards He Lan and the group. Not good. Third brother has gone berserk again. Liu Wenwu could not remain calm anymore. He waved his hand. Everyone, follow me to reinforce third brother. Lu tribe's side also entered the battle. Heroes' assembly immediately turned into a chaotic mess. An unprecedented large chaotic battle suddenly unfolded. Mo Kwang rampaged here and there in the battlefield, and He Lan, along with his group, smoothly grabbed He Shu Yi and retreated. Chai tribe's Goo Masters charged towards Water Demon Hao Ji Liu, and the heavily injured Hao Ji Liu could only flee here and there. It was chaos. Shit, this is only the heroes' assembly. We absolutely cannot have such a battle and suffer huge losses. If so, how will we vie for the imperial court? What to do? Even if our side wins, it will be a miserable victory. Liu Wenwu and He Lan felt the situation was far from good. They tried to stop it, but it was in vain. Howl! Right at this moment, an intensely desolate wolf howl spread from far away, manifesting the presence of a beast emperor. Howl! Countless wolf howls followed soon after. The howling merged into a grand and majestic howl that resounded all over heaven and earth.